Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pickleball and Politics, where I combine my quest to stay out of the kitchen with my passion for politics. So I was at my grandson's first birthday on Sunday, and I was talking to my brother-in-law, and I said, "Hey, I heard you playing pickleball now." And he said, "Yes, I am." And I said, "Hey, we're going to have to play sometime together." And he said, "Sure, that would be great." So I said, "Tell me, what's the weakest part of your game?" And he said, "It's my serve, but I recently changed it." So I go, "What did you do to your serve?" And he says, "Well, I'm now bouncing it now and hitting the paddle." And I said, "What do you mean you're bouncing it now and hitting it?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm bouncing it and hitting it." I said, "You can't bounce the ball." And he said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "No, you got to hold it up and you literally just got to release it." And he says, "No, you can bounce it." I go, "No, you can't. Look it up." So he went online. He starts Googling. Next thing you know, he's tweeting his people. He's tweeting his pickle people like I tweet text. He's texting his pickle people like I text my pickle people. And he's going, "Oh, gosh, yeah. Maybe it's not legal." And I said, "No, it's not. And maybe it's not a big deal if you're just with your little group of pickle people and you're all bouncing the ball and nobody cares." I said, "But if you go out there and you get away from your people, I'm going to tell you, you might be publicly humiliated," because I had them all looking at my serve one day deciding if I was bouncing it or not. So I think I might have just saved my brother-in-law from some public humiliation. Anyways, I do have some notes today because I want to talk about words that the FBI is looking for in public chat rooms and message boards to try to identify domestic extremists. So these are the words that they are looking for on all those message boards and chat rooms you all visit. Anyways, the first word we're going to talk about is woke. And I know a lot of us know what woke means. And according to the Urban Dictionary, it means being aware of current issues. According to Merriam-Webster, it means you're aware and attentive to important societal facts and issues. To me, being woke means you bought into the nonsense and that you are allowing somebody else to tell you what to think, how to feel, what to say, what to believe, the whole gamut. You've decided that you're just going to go along like little sheep off to slaughter and just believe what the masses and the powers that be are telling you what to believe. Like I said, to me, if you're woke, you've just fallen for the nonsense completely. Another word they're looking for is red-pilled. As you know, red-pilled was first mentioned in The Matrix. Red-pilled means that you're waking up from ignorance. Now, most conservatives believe that it shows that you've awoken to the truth of society and you refuse to go along with the narrative. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, it means that you see the world as it really is. I think I was red-pilled when I was this big, a little kid watching the Watergate hearings one summer. Yes, I was that kid that spent the summer inside watching the Watergate hearings. I knew then that what they were getting at with Watergate was all just a bunch of crazy talk anyways, and I could see then that I wasn't going along with the narrative. Even as a young kid, I was questioning everything they were saying. Now, what's interesting is sort of the opposite of red-pilled is blue-pilled. And blue-pilled means that you've decided to continue to experience the illusion. In other words, you've decided to go along with the fantasy and the game that they're providing you. That you've just decided you're going to go along with what they're telling you and you're not going to question it. You want to live in your ignorance as opposed to waking up to the ignorance and being aware that what they're really trying to do to you. So, like I said, I've been red-pilled a real long time. I can't imagine being blue-pilled. I just can't imagine being blue-pilled and deciding to continue to experience the illusion. I can't imagine. Now, another word they're looking for on the websites and message boards is based. And I'd never heard this before. And based is when you agree with something or you're being yourself. According to Reddit, yes, according to Reddit, it means you don't care what others think. But according to the FBI, and this gets interesting, it means you've been converted to racist ideology. So if you're not woke, you're based. And if you don't care what others think, you're all of a sudden, you've been converted, your ideology, and you're a racist. Ooh, that's a real slippery slope for me. I'm sorry. I can't on any level accept that, because I as an American don't care what others think, and we have our own thoughts and we're just going with what we think, that all of a sudden we're considered someone who's been converted to racist ideology. Ooh, that's a stretch for me. Another word that they're looking for is this word, Chad. Now, when I thought of Chad, I thought of what you all thought of. Let me see if this looks familiar. Yeah, that's my impression of that man during the 2000 election who was looking for the Chads in Florida during the recount of the 2000 election between Gore and Bush. So anyways, a Chad is an alpha male, according to the Urban Dictionary. But according to the FBI, it is an idealized version of a male who is sexually trying to get attention from women. Well, men have been trying to get the attention of women forever. But the thing that makes the Chad different in the eyes of the FBI is that it's race specific. So it's an alpha male trying to get the attention of women, but it's race specific. Now, this is the male version. This is the female version, Stacy. And according to the Urban Dictionary, a Stacy is a woman who is extremely good looking, but vain and rude and only interested in sex. However, it's a pejorative term for a white woman. Now, Urban Dictionary says it's a woman who's very blunt and rude, but has a big heart. No, it is definitely a white woman is considered a Stacy, and a little bit different than a Karen, who is also considered a white woman. But if a Chad is race specific, and they won't mention the race, but they will tell you that a Stacy is the female version of a Chad, I'm going to assume that a Stacy is a white is if they're going to tell you Stacy's a white woman, I'm going to assume that a Chad is a white man. So in other words, if you're a white man or a white woman and you're interested in the opposite sex and you happen to be free thinking and you don't care what others think and you refuse to go along with woke ideology where you go along with the masses, and you've woken up and refused to go along with the narrative, you are now, in the eyes of the FBI, a domestic extremist. Think about that. So while the FBI is monitoring your chat rooms and monitoring what you say on those message boards, and know that this is what they're using your tax dollars to do. They got men and women sitting around monitoring chat rooms looking to see what you are saying because you believe what you believe and you refuse to let others tell you differently. The southern border right now has approximately 1 million people waiting for Title 42 to end in just literally hours from now. The U.S. government has sent down hundreds and thousands of personnel not to prevent those million people from coming over the border, but to assist them in coming over the border as Title 42 ends. They're monitoring you and what you say and assisting the influx of basically mostly military-aged men into this country who need to be fed, educated, housed, and need medicine and all kinds of medical assistance, especially if they've legitimately been taking this long journey up through Central America and up to the border. They're going to need medical assistance, educational assistance, housing and food, not for days and not for weeks, but for literally years. Then I saw a tweet from @ US BP Chief, which is United States Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz, who tweeted that in the last 72 hours, they have apprehended 27,382 people. They have had 7,399 getaways. 164 pounds of marijuana has been confiscated, 83 pounds of meth, 66 pounds of cocaine, 5 pounds of heroin, and 11 pounds of fentanyl, which is enough to kill 5 million people. In just a few hours, literally, 1 million people are going to come over our borders. They're going to be put on buses, and they're going to be sent across this great country. If 26,382 of the people apprehended in the last 72 hours had 11 pounds of fentanyl, how much fentanyl will be on the 1 million who are coming over in hours? Those same people that the government is assisting by putting on buses that they're chartering like crazy and sending them all through the country. If 11 pounds is enough to kill 5 million people, how many people are going to die when the million cross the border? How many? I pray that none of those people who are murdered, basically, by the fentanyl that is flooding this border are not your wives, your sons, your daughters, your brothers, your sisters, your grandchildren. I saw a picture online from the New Hampshire State Police Drug Lab, and I hope you can see this. It shows how much heroin it takes to kill a person versus how much fentanyl. You can see it's just like a few grams. That's all it takes, is just a few grams to kill someone with fentanyl. Just a few grams. That's all it takes. It's coming over the border. The government is concerned what words you're using online because you refuse to believe what you're being told and you question everything, sort of like I do. All the while, 1 million plus are going to come over, and we have no idea what they have with them. Never mind the diseases and all the other stuff. That's a whole other podcast. So think about that. You can reach me on Getter at Pickleball and Politics. You can reach me on Instagram at Pickleball and Politics. You can reach me here on my YouTube channel at Pickleball and Politics. You can reach me on Twitter at Pickle and Paul, or you can go to my website, pickleballandpolitics.com. Leave me a message. Give me a thumbs up. Until next time. Thanks for joining me. Pickleball and Politics.